We're pawnbrokers that happen to be on TV. The uniqueness of our situation is the American Jewelry and Loan business. We're a pawn shop. We deal with 1,000 people that come in to borrow money every day, and that's what drew attention to our store.
Is that right?
From TV king to becoming broke, Les Gold made millions on hardcore pawn until it all vanished. Behind the shouting matches and slick deals was a man heading toward financial ruin. What really happened to Detroit's most famous pawnbroker, and how did his empire crumble when the cameras stopped rolling?
The world may never
Join
know.
us as we look behind the dramatic footage to uncover the truth about the fall of one of television's most memorable reality stars and his shocking loss of fortune. The risky real estate ventures.
Okay. Man, bro, who else used to watch this, man? I was growing up watching this, bro. I don't even know how old I was, bro. But I remember watching this show back in the day, bro. True TV was low-key lit back in the day, man. This show kept it going, too, on me.
Pawn shops themselves, an interesting indicator as to the health of the local and sometimes national economy. My next guest noting recently that his pawn shop saw an influx of heavy-duty construction equipment just ahead of the massive economic downturn and housing bubble burst back in 2007. Joining me right now is the star of Hardcore Pawn, Les Gold. Les, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Les Gold started a small pawn shop in Detroit and grew it into a huge 50,000 square foot store that became well known in the city. After doing well with his business, American Jewelry and Loan, he used his money and experience to start buying buildings and land. Thanks to the money from his shop and his fame from TV, Les began buying properties around Detroit, hoping the city would bounce back and grow again.
Is that right? Yeah.
In 2017, Les spent a lot of money buying old, empty buildings in poor parts of Detroit.
Yeah.
He had big plans to fix them up and turn them into places with shops on the bottom and cheap apartments on top. He hoped this would help the neighborhoods and also earn him steady money from rent.
So he trying to buy old retail apartment buildings and remodel, refix them. That could be a lot of work, boy.
Some experts said it was risky,
Yeah.
but Les trusted his experience and believed he could make it work.
Is that right? They trusted him, huh?
Les didn't realize how expensive it would be to fix up old buildings in Detroit.
Yeah.
When inspectors checked the buildings, they found serious problems like broken structures,
I bet.
dangerous asbestos, and old wiring that needed to be completely
I
replaced.
bet.
At
Everything has to go.
first, Les thought
You talk about Detroit. I already know Detroit is an older city too, and that shit is old as fuck. You know what I'm
the
saying?
repairs would cost $5 million,
Hey!
but the price shot up to over $15 million.
Hey!
This used up most of his money very quickly. When he couldn't pay the workers on time, they stopped working, and the buildings were left unfinished, getting damaged by weather and vandalism. But as his real estate investments were crumbling, another crisis was brewing inside his famous pawn empire.
Is that right?
Tell us about how that came about.
Well, this friend of my wife's, who plays cards with her, had this collection that she needed appraised.
cards,
and
huh?
it just so happened that Good Morning America approached me looking for items that were valuable, that the person that owned them didn't know the price.
The failed Las Vegas expansion. After Hardcore Pawn became super popular in 2014, Les Gold decided to take a big chance and open a new pawn shop in Las Vegas. His idea was exciting, a flashy store on the Las Vegas Strip where tourists could pawn items, see cool stuff from the TV show, and even meet the Gold family. Les spent more than $4 million to get a great spot and build a fancy 15,000 square foot shop that he hoped would be even more impressive than the famous Pawn Stars store nearby.
Is that right?
The Las Vegas shop opened it.
Nigga went out there to compete with them niggas, basically. Why Vegas? Like that's literally had to be the intent, because they already had an established one out there. I don't know if that was a good move.
In 2016 with a lot of excitement, including
It can seem like it's a good move, but it can also may not be a good move, bro. Cause just because they out there don't mean they gonna fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? That could bring you so many
big
problems.
party
bro.
with celebrities and tons of ads
It would be cool though.
all
you
over
know,
local
but
TV and newspapers.
never know.
Les thought the store would quickly become a popular spot for tourists
Yeah.
and make good money from both pawning items and selling merchandise. He hired 35
A hardcore pawn merchandise.
workers and filled the shop with fancy items chosen to attract visitors who had plenty of money to spend.
My thing is though, based off the show, bro. I mean, that's the show alone can really kill your business, bro, because the crowd, the audience, you know what I'm saying? The people that come in, what the show is based off of is drama, crazy people off the Detroit streets. You know what I'm saying? Now you're bringing that to Vegas type shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Things
that may not be what you want, but that's kind of what it turned into.
didn't go as well as Les Gold had hoped. Even though the shop was in a good spot, it was just far enough from the main Las Vegas Strip that not many people walked by. Running
that
the
right?
store in Las Vegas cost a lot more than in Detroit.
Bet.
Just the rent was almost $75,000 every month.
Hey, goddamn, what?
On top of that, other pawn
The fuck was this nigga reading? God damn.
shops in Las Vegas were already popular and well known, making it hard for Les's new store to compete. After losing almost $200,000 every month for a year and a half,
God damn,
Les had to
man.
shut down the Las Vegas shop in 2018. He lost millions on building the store and leftover items he couldn't sell. The failed expansion hurt both his money situation and his image as a smart businessman.
Damn.
Yet while Les was dealing with this very public failure, a more personal challenge was developing that would further complicate his financial situation. The costly family feud.
Drama.
The Gold family was a big part of the hardcore pawn show, with Les often caught between his kids, Ashley and Seth, who were always trying to show they were the best at running the business. The show made their fights look more dramatic. But the truth was, the family really did have problems that didn't go away when filming ended.
Is that right?
By 2018, things had gotten so bad between them that
Damn.
it started hurting both their family and the business.
Damn.
Seth Gold had worked with his dad since he was a teenager, but over time, he got upset because he felt Les was stuck in old ways and didn't want to update the business.
Man, it be like that sometimes, man. And that's why, man, sometimes it's best not to do shit with your family, bro. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful who you do it with. You know?
Ashley also felt left out when it came to big decisions, even though her skills in marketing and customer
But you know, I feel like I can see I'm probably gonna be stuck in my ways when I get older too. You know what I'm saying? But older people sometimes do need to, you know what I'm saying, get hip to the new game though, cause it's a completely different market. You know, markets change. You know.
service had helped the company. Both Seth and Ashley wanted more control and a bigger share of the business to match the work they were doing. But Les kept saying no, or didn't take their requests seriously. Things fell
Damn.
apart in late 2018 when Seth suddenly quit American Jewelry and Loan to open his own pawn shop just a few miles away. He took some important workers and loyal customers
Wait. Hold on. So the nigga, I was thinking about some whole other shit, bro. Cause I ain't even gonna get into it, man. But, cause you know, I ain't gonna get into it.
own pawn shop just a few miles away.
But so his son literally opened up his own pawn shop. Damn.
He took some important and loan to open his own pawn shop just a few miles away.
Damn.
He took some important workers and loyal customers with him,
Damn.
which caused big problems for Les. 6 months later,
Your own son, man. Cause what it is the son already know what it is. The son is looking at how much the dad is making and feel like he should be making what the dad is making because he the one really running the show now. He the one doing a lot more of the work. But what you don't realize, son, is that you didn't build this business. I built it. You know what I'm saying though? So if you want to go do your own thing, then then so be it. But I guess I don't know. I don't like that because we can work together. The whole thing is what we can do together, bro. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I feel like if your sons is doing the majority of the work or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You deserve your dividends for sure. But you should be probably compensating them as well, you know? You know, because it's always going to be like that, man. You know what I'm saying? But what they don't realize is that, man, if we work together, we hold it down, we make the right decisions now, this will be yours. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll be able to do what you want with it. You know? But right now, it's mine.
Later, Ashley also left and started her own jewelry business that focused on custom pieces
Damn.
instead of pawning.
Is that right?
Her move split the family's customer base even more.
God damn.
The family breakup led to expensive legal fights over business rules, trademarks, and who owned what.
Man.
These battles cost Les over $2 million in lawyer fees. Even worse, the
Can't get
Gold
that back.
family name took a hit, as longtime customers started picking sides. Les ended up losing a lot of money, and the kids he had hoped would take over the business one day. As the family empire fractured from within, external forces were preparing to deliver another significant blow: the pandemic's devastating impact.
You would think pawn shops would be busy then, but I mean, that's just another loan people would have to pay back though.
COVID-19
Unless they just sold it to the pawn shop.
hit the
But then it's like the pawn shop can buy all this inventory and have too much inventory and they can't sell it because everybody's selling their shit to them.
U.S.
You know
in
what I'm
early
saying?
2020, most businesses weren't ready for the huge problems it caused. For Les Gold and his pawn shop, American Jewelry and Loan, the timing was especially bad because they were already low on money from earlier losses.
Man,
Michigan's stay-at-home
Put 'em
rules made
out.
him close all 3 of his Detroit area stores for almost 3 months. That
damn.
meant no face-to-face business, which was the main way the shop made money. Unlike
Damn.
many stores that could switch to selling online, pawn shops depend a lot on in-person visits to check items.
They see y'all need to get hip to the game, man. Y'all can sell your inventory online just like you can do it in the store. Why you can't have an online category where people can buy it and then once it's sold, you can't take it off and you can get it delivered. Y'all gotta come with shit like that, bruh. Y'all gotta get hit to the time. Okay, this is the only way we're gonna make money. How can we make it profitable? Charge a delivery fee. We advertise it. You know, it's another investment you gotta make, man. When you got a business, you gotta be prepared for stuff like that. You gotta have the reserves, man.
Make deals, and sell things. Les tried to set up a way for people to get items appraised online, but most customers didn't trust the prices they were given through a screen.
Yeah.
Also, many of the usual customers who came in during tough times had some extra money from government stimulus checks, so fewer people needed to pawn things.
I wouldn't say do appraisals. I'd say sell the items that you have. That would help and offer delivery.
Even though it was a
Ain't no pawn shop offering delivery with a box truck. Come on now.
big financial crisis. When the
That's good game. Somebody out there gonna hear that from me, and this video only gonna do 100 views, and now they gonna get rich. Watch this gonna happen.
stores opened again in the summer of 2020, things were very different for Les. It cost a lot more to run the business because of new safety rules, but only about 40% of the usual customers came back. At the same time, gold prices went way up, and many people came in to get back the gold items they had pawned before. This meant Les had to pay out a lot of cash, even though the business wasn't making.
So how does that work? If they holding your shit for what, a year? I don't know how that works. But if they hold it for a year and gold price go up another $1,000, do they gotta pay you back, or would they gotta pay you back what it was initially appraised at? No, I need that profit.
Much money.
Yo, that's a cheat code. They ain't gonna do that.
By the end of 2020, Les
They
had to
ain't gonna
shut
do
down
that.
2 of his 3 stores for good and let go of more than 60% of his workers. His main store stayed open, but only for fewer hours and with a small team. The pandemic made his money problems worse, and his once successful business was now close to going broke. But while struggling with these business challenges, Les would soon face a very different type of crisis that threatened not just his wealth, but also his health. The health crisis and medical debt. Even though Les Gold seemed strong and confident on TV, he had been quietly dealing with health problems for a long time. He had diabetes for most of his life and kept it under control with medicine and healthy habits. But the stress from his business troubles and family issues started to hurt his health.
Man, that's one thing I'm starting to think about, bro, is stress, because I be stressing, and I need to stop.
In December 2020, while his business was struggling because of the pandemic, Les had a serious heart attack and needed emergency surgery to fix 4 blocked arteries. The timing was really bad for Les's money situation. Years before, when things were going well, he chose a health insurance plan with lower monthly payments, but higher costs when someone got sick. Because of that
That's
choice,
what we all do.
he ended up having to pay more than $300,000 out of his own pocket for medical bills.
Goddamn.
His recovery had problems too, so he needed special care and stayed in the hospital longer, which added even more debt, just when his income had dropped a lot. Les had to stay away from his business for almost 5
How the hell do that work? So the surgeon get paid out 200,000? How much the surgeon making off that?
months.
Goddamn. Your life is in the hands of that surgeon, though. Whew.
While he recovered.
That's a respectable job, bro. That's a respectable job right there, man.
During that time, less experienced workers had to make
You
important
gotta be cut different, bro. There's just for there's bad surgeons out there too, but you gotta be really different type of person to be able to be a surgeon, bro, and have care for people, you know.
decisions. Without Les's strong personality and deep knowledge of how to price items, the store didn't do as well.
That shit gotta be in
Many
you, not
loyal
on you.
customers who were used to working only with Les stopped coming when they found out he wasn't there. When Les came back to work in the middle of 2021, his health was better, but still weak, so he had to work fewer hours. That made it hard for him to fix and grow his business. Even worse, he had a huge amount of medical debt, and his money situation was already shaky. He had to think about selling some of his personal belongings just to pay for his healthcare bills. Yet even as Les grappled with these health challenges, his reputation was about to face an unexpected attack that would further damage his business prospects. The social media scandal. Les Gold was always in the spotlight and knew that his public image helped his business succeed. Since the start of Hardcore Pawn, he built a reputation as someone who was tough but fair, smart on the streets but honest, and a strong negotiator with a kind heart.
But social media exposed the
image
real, the
Helped him
truth
gain
about him.
loyal fans who kept supporting his shop even after the show ended in 2015. Les initially attempted to ignore the growing controversy, believing his reputation would withstand unfounded attacks. When the allegations continued spreading and local news outlets began investigating the claims, Les finally issued a vehement denial through his attorneys. However, his delayed response appeared defensive to many observers, and his legal team's aggressive cease and desist letters to several social media users further inflamed public opinion against him. Even though no official charges or lawsuits came from the accusations,
Wait, what was
Les's reputation took a major hit.
What was the accusation?
In the months after the scandal, the number of customers coming to the store dropped by almost half. Many loyal clients started questioning whether they'd been treated fairly in the past. The controversy shattered the trust Les had spent years building, making his already struggling business even weaker. But while fighting to salvage his public image, Les would soon face a more concrete threat from an unexpected direction: the IRS investigation. Throughout his career, Les Gold had a tricky relationship with the people in charge of taxes. Even though he looked like a successful businessman to the public, he worked in a business that used a lot of cash and had a hard time keeping track of inventory, which made doing taxes complicated. For many years, Les handled these problems with help from a small accounting company that had been taking care of his money even before he became famous on TV. In September 2021, Les got a letter that most business owners fear. The tax office was going to do a full check of his business and personal taxes from the past 6 years. At first, they looked into big losses he said he had from real estate, problems with how he valued his inventory, and whether he had wrongly counted personal spending as business costs. What started as a normal check quickly—
That's the scary part about getting a lot of money, bro. When you work a regular job, you don't really got too much worry about all that taxes and the government coming for you for taxes and shit like that, man. You know what I'm saying? You get to making too much money and you try to write too much shit off or whatever. They might want to audit your whole shit and say, nope, you owe us this and that. You over here frauding us. Ooh,
got more serious when the investigators
God damn,
found
this nigga life with the shit, boy. God damn.
a pattern of mixed-up reports. They also discovered that Les's longtime accountant had been using risky tax tricks to help the business
Of
during
course.
tough financial times. Les said he had just signed the tax papers that his accountants gave him.
Is that
But
right?
the tax office decided he was still responsible for
Right,
not paying
right,
enough
right.
taxes
Right.
over several years.
Right, you're still responsible.
By early 2022,
Yeah, so you don't think Les knew what the accountant was doing though? Come on now.
Les owed about $2.8 million in taxes,
God damn.
including extra charges and interest.
This nigga's
That was
debt
way
is out
more
the
than he could
wazoo,
afford to
boy.
pay. With his
Shit.
financial options narrowing, Les faced yet another crisis that would strike at the heart of his identity as a pawnbroker.
Meanwhile, his kids are leaving him and starting their own businesses, bro. That's sad as fuck, bro. I feel bad for the old man, bro. I really do.
The massive inventory theft. The most important part of a pawn shop
Not
is its
inventory
inventory.
theft, though.
The stuff people gave as loans but didn't come back to get. So now it's for sale. Over many years, Les Gold built up a really valuable collection at his main store in Detroit. It included rare jewelry, fancy watches, musical instruments, and cool collectibles that he picked out using his sharp eye for valuable items. This inventory was his biggest remaining asset and the key to any chance of saving his business. In January 2022, something terrible happened at American Jewelry and Loan.
What's that?
Smart and well-prepared thieves broke into the
No.
store during a holiday weekend. They got past the old security system and went straight for the vault and display cases,
Is that
picking
right?
out the most expensive and easy-to-carry items. They even turned off the cameras and alarms,
Damn.
which made it seem like they knew exactly how the store's security worked.
Oh yeah, they already know what's
When the
up.
workers
You know
came
that was Seth and Ashley.
back on Tuesday, they found out that more than $3.2 million worth of
God
items had
damn.
been stolen.
These niggas, god damn, everything. What bad, bro? You talk about the worst shit happening is happening to this nigga. Every fucking thing, bro. God damn. Everything is happening to this man, bro. How at the end of it all, bro. And the last little hope you got is the inventory that you have. You get hit for $3.8 million? God damn.
The investigation showed that the store had serious security problems because Les had cut costs and didn't keep up with repairs or new technology.
Who knew that,
Insurance
though?
agents also found out that Les had lowered his insurance coverage the year before to save money. So his policy only covered about 40% of what was stolen.
Man.
After a long wait during the
Oh, nothing
investigation, the
happened.
insurance company gave him just $1.3 million,
Damn.
far less than the full value of the stolen items. The theft didn't just hurt Les's finances right away. It also made it hard to keep the store running smoothly. There weren't enough items for customers to choose from, so Les had to spend most of the insurance money buying new inventory at wholesale prices. That left him with even less cash to pay for other important bills. Which of these setbacks do you think was the most devastating to Les Gold's empire? Was it the risky
damn.
business expansions, the family conflicts, or simply bad timing with the pandemic and health issues? Share your thoughts with us
Bro. Damn. But where's he? So where's he at now though?
in the comments.
Okay, so he used the insurance money with $1 million to buy, but is he still in business though? Did I miss it?
Which of these setbacks do you think was the most
Hold on.
to pay for other important items? So Les had to spend most of the insurance money buying new inventory at wholesale prices. That left him with even less cash to pay for other important bills. Which of these setbacks do
That
you
left him with less cash to pay for other important bills. So, like, what happened to him though? Let's chat GPT it right quick. Let's see. What happened to Les Gold and where is he at now? From Hardcore Pawn. Let's see what ChatGPT got to say. Hardcore Pawn aired 2010-2015. Let's Gold owner, main star, where Let's Gold and the business are now. American Jewelry alone is still operating. According to recent reporting 2025, Les and his children remain involved in the business. In 2021, the business expanded. New pawn shop locations were opened, including in Southgate and Lincoln Park in Michigan. Les Gold is reportedly less in the public eye than during the show's heyday, but he remains connected to the shop. Some sources say he slowed down a bit, focusing more on family, his health, and letting his children take on more day-to-day responsibility. There have been rumors and social media stories about health issues or retirement, but as the most recent credible update, Les Gold is alive and still linked to the business. The show is over, but that doesn't mean the pawn shop closed. American Jewelry and Loan continues to function under the Gold family's ownership and management. Les Gold's role shifted from TV frontman to more business owner founder role. The public drama largely ended, but the entrepreneurial foundation remained. So while you might not see him on a reality show now, the pawn shop and the Gold family business legacy still lives on. According to ChatGPT. Man, that's crazy, man. I grew up watching the show, man. So, it's just crazy, dog. It's just crazy. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. We on the road to 100K. Yo, if you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap that all shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get at y'all in the next one, and I'm gone. T.Y. Peter 9.